On today's episode of Cheating When Love Lies.
What if you're not actually sexting, but sending flirty DMs, texts, and pictures to someone you're really attracted to, but your partner has no idea you're doing this? What if after yoga, you and a hottie in the class go for smoothies, but you don't tell your partner or admit to yourself that having smoothies with them is the reason you go to yoga in the first place? What if you have full-on sex romps with someone other than your partner several times a year without your partner knowing? Are any or all of these cheating? Are any or all of these relationships or just hookups? On today's episode, I'll read a short fictional story I've written based on true life events called How Many Times a Month is Enough? After the reading, I'll host a roundtable discussion with my guests and friends, Justin, John, and Amy, who will react to the story and share their own thoughts on infidelity. So let's get started. How many times a month is enough? I was at dinner with a guy friend and his wife when he started quizzing me like it was the goddamn GMATs. Have you ever met his kids? How often do you see him? He was fishing to see my lover's level of engagement in our affair, as if there's a threshold for how often you see your lover that legitimizes your relationship. I knew if my answers to his questions were relationship nonconforming, my affair wouldn't meet his criteria for a bona fide romance. Maybe twice a month. I could barely get the words out before he interrupted me, slowly shaking his head from left to right, saying no. It was a very slow-moving headshake, the kind that's really condescending. His lips pursed into a furrow that was even more condemning. He didn't need words because his expression completely disavowed what I knew in my heart. My boyfriend and I were two cheaters in love. Twice a month, he interrupted? That's not a relationship. For all the long-distance relationships where couples fly to be with one another because someone's getting a PhD here, while the other's caring for a sick relative there, to all the people who can't leave their jobs in one city to go live with their spouse or lover in another. For all of us who love deeply from a distance, I say, we take umbrage at the idea that how many times a month you see your lover is a measure of your relationship's legitimacy. Truthfully, I was embarrassed to admit that although I talked to my guy all the time, I hadn't seen him in months. I had internalized the rhetoric that, if he really wanted to, he'd travel the 100 miles and come see me more often. It's a silly concept because it's kind of like, if you really wanted to, you'd lose the weight. Or, if you really wanted to, you'd pack up the papers on your home office desk and organize them into file folders. It's more likely that we don't do half the things we really wish we were. Hence why I'm having this affair in the first place. I'd like to be in a more traditional relationship, but I've fallen in love with a married man, and the married man's fallen in love with me. Still, according to popular theory, if we really wanted to, we'd just go home, tell our spouses, I'm sorry, and be done with it. Unfortunately, my affair fell into that cliché category of, it's complicated. It seemed hasty to run home, do the mea culpa, then hope that a future living together as lovers would be better than our current status as two cheaters on an every other week program. Besides, as Gwyneth might say, there's so much uncoupling to do. If you leave, it becomes just like those extra 8 pounds or those papers on the desk of your home office. Oh, do I have to do this? Were my lover and I supposed to forego all the practicalities that make cheating easier and more cost-effective than leaving our spouses? We're in our 50s, and breaking up house and home, letting down our kids and our parents, then trying to explain it all to our young grandchildren just didn't seem pragmatic, especially when keeping our marriage together while cheating was going so smoothly. For the time being, my love and I were willing to sacrifice the intimacy of day-to-day things like flossing our teeth together and farting in bed. We would see each other when our breath was fresh, our deliverables were done, and we were in a great mood. Isn't that what married people's date night is all about anyway? For my love and me, every night was date night. I didn't have to deal with his dirty dishes in the sink or hearing him take a crap when I was in the bathroom putting on my makeup. He never saw me gargle with Listerine or pluck the little gray hairs off my vajayjay. I didn't get grossed out by his earwax or bitch about how much he overindulged in gaming. All we did was laugh, share, kiss, nurture, have sex, listen to, and support each other. Call it selfish, compromised, or naive. Call it whatever you want, but it was working for us. My other friend, let's call him Tom, has been cheating on his wife for years. Sometimes it was just fucking and hookups. Other times it was a Facebook friend's rekindling of days gone by that escalated into nights gone wrong for their spouses. Tom loved his wife and thought she was cool. In fact, he bragged about how she had this very noble career helping others. He once said that if he didn't know her and met her in a bar today, he'd try and pick her up. She was pretty, smart, giving, and a great mom, but for years, something had been missing in their relationship. Despite how much he appreciated his wife, he'd lost the desire to spend time with her. Tom would drive around after work looking for places to go because he dreaded being home with his wife. He hated how he felt and what he was doing, but he wasn't willing to suppress his desire to find something more, someplace else. He'd been having affairs on and off for about 13 of the 22 years they'd been married, and he was convinced his wife would never find out. One day, about 20 years in, Tom's wife asked him to go to couples therapy. She couldn't take that Tom had become more and more distant, and she believed that going to therapy might add more oomph to their relationship. The sessions were a big waste of time and money because Tom couldn't get himself to admit that he'd been banging the dog walker, his boss, and some hospitality worker who proved to be more than hospitable. Why confess? It would only hurt his wife. Weren't they in therapy to, quote, leave things in the past and rekindle their love? When Tom's therapist explained that marriage takes work, he grunted. I work all day, and all I want to do when I get home is relax. For Tom, going to couples therapy was work. The suggested self-help reading was work. Digging deep into his emotional past was work. To him, a mistress and a martini was a more fun and easy way to endure his ho-hum marriage. Tom didn't want to seem like the asshole who wasn't trying. He'd go to the sessions and bullshit about how he was a middle child with anger issues, a father who never hugged him, and a college counselor who squashed his dreams of joining the Peace Corps. There he was in couples therapy, working hard to dupe his wife and understand what gave him this intense desire to fuck around. Tom and I would compare cheating notes. We'd congratulate each other on how deft we were at maintaining the status quo at home, yet sexing it up in the streets at the same time. Yet Tom cared about his wife and was conflicted. He truly believed she didn't deserve to be, quote, treated like this. I wasn't sure that I could sustain the dreamy love affair I had going with my stud muffin if we were to see each other all the time. Like, constantly. Like, every day. Like, day in and day out. Like, good morning, I know you have a huge heart-on, but could you please brush your teeth before you kiss me? As I said, this every other week thing was working for us. Tom lost his job, and after that, he decided to stop the philandering and really do the work. Personally, I think it was inspired by the idea that using 401k money to support an affair was taboo. But he claimed that being fired was a wake-up call about his life and the better choices he needed to make. I couldn't care less what my guy friend at dinner thought about my affair. He was the one at the table bickering with his wife about the wine, the table, and the bill, while I was about to go frolicking around with my lover. I was happy as all hell seeing my guy only 2 dates per month. I just hoped some of those dates would last for weeks on end. So did anybody get the irony of that last sentence? Ooh. You know, she says, oh, I'm okay with having 2 dates per month, but I just wish they'd last forever. So what's she really saying there? It's like, I mean, I wrote it, but still, it's based on a true story. Well, it's based on a true story. Right. And so, you know, I'm saying to the woman, like, well, what do you mean? What do you think she means?
She wants something like traditional. but she can't get that because she got people she's seeing that's already married.
Justin, you're Jam Vlogs, YouTuber, vlogger.
Yep.
We're going to get back to the fights that you're going to be. I couldn't believe it when you told me you're getting in the ring. We're going to talk about that later. You might need that if you're the cheater.
God, there's so much to unpack. It's like when we were kids and we had winter vacation. We knew it was a week long, but God, if we could just extend it out another 3 weeks. But I only get my winter vacation once a year, but I just want to do it longer. So she wants to like freeze time and just take that one day out, knowing she can't do this every day. So she's trying to extend out one day a lot longer.
Amy, do you think she's content with twice a month, or do you think she wants something more?
It sounds like she's a woman who doesn't exactly know what she wants. We'll start there at the beginning. A woman? Confused? Not her. But it sounds like obviously she's trying to justify to herself that 2 times a month is fine. Like throughout the whole story, it sounds like she's just like sitting down, having this conversation. She's like, no, 2 days a month. That's fine. That's fine. She's like, but if I happen to stay an extra week while I'm there, that would be okay too.
So she's trying to convince herself.
Sounds like she's trying to convince herself that all she really wants is 2 days a month.
What do Simone Biles, Michael Phelps, maybe you, and definitely me have in common? We all agree that in life you need good mental health to be the best that you can be. Cerebral is an online mental health service that offers prescription medication, counseling, and therapy for anxiety, depression, ADHD, insomnia, and more. I know from experience that talking to the right therapist, someone who's trained to help you cope with life's emotional baggage, can be a lifesaver. I've spent a ton on go-to-the-office type therapy, but Cerebral is 1/3 the price of typical counseling, and treatment options are available with or without insurance. I love this part about Cerebral, though. If you and your counselor decide that medication can help you cope, Cerebral ships the medication right to your home. That's prescription medication online through a licensed provider shipped straight to you. I know that when I'm online at the pharmacy and there's someone right behind me, it's awkward. So for listeners of this program, you can receive 65% off your first month of medication management and care counseling by going to Cerebral.com/cheating. That's getcerebral.com/cheating to start your first month for only $30. Join Cerebral today on their mission to make quality mental health care accessible and affordable for all.
And maybe she doesn't think 2 days a month is wrong. I mean,
Right.
Yeah.
it's like, okay, it's
her
only 2
mindset.
days a month, so that's cool.
Oh, that's it. So it's not so bad as long as you're not seeing the lover on a more frequent basis. What do you think, Justin?
I think John and Amy made a great point. She wants more, but okay, if I only do it 2 times, I'm not doing anything wrong.
So is it an affair if you're doing it less frequently?
I mean, if you started texting or setting a date up, it's already an affair.
Yes.
Before even doing anything.
Interesting that you feel that way.
That's like a serial killer going in front of a judge and going, well, I didn't kill 10 people. I just killed 1, so that's okay. Oh, then
Forget the 9.
you just murdered somebody once, not 10 times. That's okay.
Well, it's really figuring out what the definition of an affair is an emotional affair an
Yeah.
affair? Because I still consider that an affair.
I think it's worse.
You know what I mean? It's because you're actually emotionally invested in this person.
Exactly.
So,
You're taking the time out of your schedule. Like, let me just text this person. I want to, because I feel something with this person.
Right, to prioritize them.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So she makes it sound like having an affair is carefree and adventurous. And she doesn't talk about the holidays, nights, or weekends spent alone, or her inability to be fully integrated into her lover's life. Is she deluding herself about being used by him as a mere side chick, or is she onto something here?
No, I think she's setting herself up. I mean, she already knows she's a side chick because she's already spending time with this guy, even though she has a husband at home. So she already knows she's a side chick. So
Is that necessarily detrimental?
That's contradicting herself.
Right. I'm sorry if I'm about to hurt anyone's feelings, but is that necessarily detrimental? Could you be like, hey, I have my permanence at home, and then I have this other incredibly thrilling adventure, John?
Well, is it okay in what regard? I mean, is it okay for her? Is it okay for her husband? Is it okay?
Oh, nice. Good
I
point.
mean, she's, both of these people seem to have somehow persuaded themselves I'm in a court of law. But, Your Honor, it was only twice a month. I mean, come on. That's not bad, is it?
Well,
I mean,
it's like, and how would she feel if it was the other way around?
Right.
Too,
I
is
was
always
just
the
about to
thing.
say that.
It's always the grand if the shoe were on
Right.
the other foot. If she caught him texting somebody, I can't wait to see you this weekend. You know, my wife doesn't know. Like, how does that, you know?
I wonder, let's write that script. How would she feel?
Yeah.
I think she'd
Betrayed?
be pissed off.
Pissed
Totally.
off? Yeah.
Yeah, because this is like a selfish moment she gets to have for herself where she feels like she's fulfilling something
Right.
she's not getting at home. And instead of trying harder at home, she's putting her eggs in other baskets and kind of.
That's interesting
know?
what you say about trying harder at home. Do you really feel like if she tried harder, I mean, what is she supposed to do to make that relationship at home better?
She has to explore it to its fullest extent and see if it actually is something she wants to go on with in the future because, you know, at some point you made a promise. You know, you stood up in front of however many friends and family and you said, I promise to love you until, you know, death do us part. I mean, death can also be a divorce lawyer, but, you know,
Right.
but I mean, you have to figure out what works best for you guys. And if it doesn't work, then it's time to part ways.
At the beginning of the story, the protagonist is sitting at the dinner table with a married couple, and the husband is really judgmental of the woman. Do you think that most people have tremendous stigma about affairs? Because we hear so many incidents with infidelity among celebrities in the press, right, all the time. And there are even entire websites dedicated to individuals who'd like to go outside of their relationships. Has the affair evolved into something more acceptable?
No.
Oh,
How do you know?
Personally, no. On a personal basis, I feel like that's not something you can ever come back from. That's like an unforgivable act. And it's not like you sat down and you're like, okay, we're going to see other people, invite other people into our marriage.
Open marriage.
And
Right,
therefore, it's okay. And we've had this discussion.
Yeah.
It's another thing when you're going along thinking that you are both walking the same path to find out that someone has gone off on another trail. You know, it's like just this ultimate path. I don't know.
So
Just
then
this
why is it
ultimate betrayal.
increasing, John? We're seeing about politicians, celebrities,
Yeah.
It's salacious.
It's escapism.
but you think it still bugs people as much as it always did?
It's embarrassing.
Yeah, it's
Embarrassing.
I mean,
That's
when you hear these stories and how they describe these moments when they're in their, their alternative life, their parentheses, if you want to call it, but it's an escapism. You know, I mean, there's nothing. I mean, like I travel. Well, pre-COVID, I used to travel a lot for my business, and I'd go out to L.A. and I'd stay at the Ritz-Carlton for a week every month.
Oh, you're so
and
fancy.
It's a home away from home, but my God, it's unbelievable, right? You're on someone else's dime. You're at the Ritz. You're living like a king, and you come back, and things are great at home, but you're kind of living in fantasy land,
Right.
when you're out west, away from everything, and just it's all
Living the high life.
you're living kind of high life. So it's this escapism high life thing that for whatever reason these people are not getting that fulfillment at home, or maybe they are, but they're so addicted to this escapism that they love it so much they just don't want to give it up.
So, Justin, you're the young one among us, only 25. Do young people see affairs differently, or is it still as hurtful as it would have been if your parents had had an affair?
No, it's definitely different
How?
for my relationship. My last ex, we kind of discussed about the whole open relationship, etc., stuff like that.
Okay, tell us about your ex.
Can we use nice words or?
No, you just go. I think I know where this is going. Go ahead.
So at first everything was lovable. He was nice, kind, hard worker. He came up to me like, "Listen, I want an open relationship."
He asked you to have an open
He
relationship.
came out to me. He's like, "I want an open relationship."
After how long were you together?
A year,
Okay.
and he's like, "I just feel like we need to spice something up."
Okay.
I was like, let me think about it. So that escape from reality, which is the relationship,
Right.
the actual relationship, he wanted something fantasy. I said no,
Okay.
which led to cheating because he wanted.
Now, when you said no, did he in your face say, "Okay, Justin, I accept your no, and we're going to stay together?
Yep. He said, okay, sorry, babe. No's, I get it. I was like, thank you. Because, like, in a relationship, you're supposed to have the one, too.
Right. He wanted the monogamy.
Exactly.
But then he went on and did
He
something
did the
else.
whole sneaky, went behind my back, etc.
How did you find out?
Now you could look at people's locations. I guess he forgot he had his location off.
Oh, on the phone.
On the iPhone.
Yeah.
And I tracked him, being stalker as I am.
I don't think that's stalkish. Do you think that's stalkish? I mean, if the person
right?
knows that you have the location.
Me at that point, I was like, yo, I'm really stalking my boyfriend right now. Okay, hello.
Okay.
But he was at one of my friend's house.
Your friend's house.
Yeah.
You guys still friends?
No.
Your former friend's house.
Former friends.
How good a friend was this former friend?
I thought we had a close connection.
No.
But then stabbed me right in the back.
Did you go to the location
I went to his house.
and caught them in the
I
act?
caught him in bed.
Oh.
And it's not like I knocked.
Oh.
Damn.
It's not like I knocked at my friend's house. I went in.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Did you have to break the door down, or was it?
No, the door was already open. He left the door open. I'm like, who leaves the door open?
Oh my! And how did they react when they saw your face?
Oh, it's shocked. He said, "I'm sorry, bro." So I hit him.
You hit him?
Yep.
Good.
The friend or your
The
boyfriend?
friend.
Right.
No,
Oh,
I
you
would
didn't
never
hit-
lay hands on my significant other.
Wow.
Interesting. Now,
The
why
other
is
guy
that?
I
He's the one that broke the promise. Wait, he's the one that broke the. Not that
Right.
I'm advocating hitting. Don't
Right,
start.
yeah, don't advocate,
Right,
no,
nobody start texting me and telling me I'm violent. But it's interesting that your response of violence was toward the friend and not your boyfriend.
Right. I get what you're saying. At that time,
You still loved him.
I did. Of course I did. But I was so pissed off at my friend texted me the other day saying, again, I'm sorry. I blocked him.
What?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm like, oh, thank you for reminding me to block you.
Right.
I had forgotten.
Oh my gosh! So you're standing. Were you crying and like what was your you? I'm sorry. No, you said you punched him.
I punched him, but then, I was crying.
Hit
But
him close by a
I didn't let
boxer.
nobody know that I cry. I don't even let my boyfriend know I cry. Ex-boyfriend now.
And now, did you leave alone or did he leave with
Well, no, we
you?
lived together.
You left together.
We left together, so it was a nice.
Wait, Amy, why are you gasping?
I thought he said we lived together.
We went.
Did you guys have to go back to the same house?
Yeah, no, like literally, we lived together. So we went back to the house. We talked. I was like, I don't even want to I don't know.
How soon after did you kick him out?
I didn't.
I knew you were going to say that. That was a trick question.
He's
That
still
was
there?
Yes, because this love business.
He's not.
drives you
He's not
insane.
here today. No, he left. He.
No, but I'm saying after
but-
you caught him,
Exactly,
you
yeah.
left the
Yes.
friend's house together. You went home. You're emotional. You have a talk, and you didn't say to him, "Get the fuck out."
He
did
didn't
you?
even say sorry.
I know,
My-
but you
my ex-
loved him. So
but
you
I did.
stuck
Yeah,
around.
my feelings were all over the place. Moral of the story: Don't trust your best friend.
No, moral of the story is trust or don't trust your. I don't. What's the moral of the story?
Moral of the
Amy?
story is: if you're gonna say you love somebody, at the end of the day, you love them, no matter what.
So then what
Period.
happened? Did you ever break up? Are you still with this guy?
We were still together, and then he.
How did you live with that after the friend?
let me add something to it. The
Oh,
week
God. Can
week
I take
before that happened, he cheated on me with another guy,
Oh, dude.
and I forgave him.
Wow.
How many times have you been cheated on?
7,
7.
Same guy?
not same guy.
Oh.
Different relationships,
Can we talk about that for a second?
of course.
Do you think there's a reason why you've been cheated on 7 times?
Yeah, they take my kindness. They take advantage of my kindness. I spoil them. I
How?
love them. Money, my attention. Everything a boyfriend is in the application. That's me.
So if this happened time 3, 4, and 5, why do you continue the same behavior that engenders this type of cheating?
Because I think it's going to be a changed outcome every time.
right.
Different person, different,
Right, right.
maybe different feelings. If I do the same thing I do, maybe they'll, oh, you know what? This is my life partner.
You just need to learn how to be a better asshole. That's all.
John,
Quit being so goddamn nice. Be an asshole for change.
that's what I'm about to be. But then I'm the bad guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you think that your ex was more like Tom in the story where Tom just got bored, or do you think he was more like the female protagonist and she was searching for a thrill?
I think it was both. And I'll explain.
Please.
Yes, he wanted more. He wanted, if I only did this a certain times to him, to me, I'm fine. It's okay.
Oh, it's the quantitative
yes.
thing we were talking.
Yes.
Oh, that's why you said that.
Exactly. So
it doesn't count if it only happened a few times.
Exactly. To him, in his eyes, it only did. I'm not hurting him.
Wow. So I often hear that cheating is very prevalent in gay male relationships. I think it's a myth.
It is. And I'll explain.
Yes.
You have a husband?
No, I'm single.
Oh. Sorry to hear that.
That's okay.
We can talk about it.
We could talk about it on another show.
Gina's going to be a guest on her own show one day. She could be interviewing herself.
No, I'm going to be a guest on your show,
Yes.
Music and a Brew, your fabulous podcast, and I'm going to drink myself into oblivion.
She's going to be talking about her own feelings.
I know, you're going to
Free
shove
beer.
beers down
Free
my
beer.
throat, and I'm going to divulge my whole personal life.
You have to fight Amy for that slot behind the bar, but they could duke it
Be
out.
my sub.
Oh my! What were we talking about? Oh yes, gay male relationships. Why do you hear this myth? What I think is a myth about cheating existing more in those relationships.
Because men are more hornier.
Well, that's for damn sure.
What?
It's true.
No, John.
But the
Men
cheating
aren't
outcome.
hornier? Wait. This is. Oh, sorry. Men aren't hornier, John.
No, I threw that out just as a reaction.
He wanted the soundbite for you.
There's your soundbite. What?
Amy, are men hornier than women?
I don't. Isn't it? There's the whole thing about different phases of life. Like certain phase of life is supposed to be higher sex drive for men, and
That's
another
true.
phase of life is a higher sex drive for women. So
Okay, back to my question. I keep interrupting you. So,
No, you're
why does that myth exist?
Go back. Men are more hornier.
Oh,
but
okay.
it's something to say, I guess. People like it's just a thing. Just people go around and like, oh yeah, men, gay people are more.
Something to say. Good morning.
Yeah, good
Did
morning.
you know gay men? The woman in the story is so cavalier about having an affair. Let's say her husband found out. Should he leave her?
Yes.
Would
Yeah.
any of you leave if you found out that your lover or partner or wife or husband was cheating?
Don't ask me.
1000%.
You would, Amy? You'd leave?
Oh yeah, in a heartbeat.
After one cheating experience?
Oh yeah, no, because I would punish them for all eternity.
Oh.
You know what I
Oh.
mean?
But
I
then
would
you're
never
punishing
let them out
yourself.
anywhere. Yeah, so goodbye.
One cheating.
Yeah, bye.
Good, Amy.
Bye.
Amy,
That's
that's
a
a
huge
lemon thing.
betrayal of trust. Goodbye.
Well-
You're out. Apparently, you and I don't respect each other. You
Okay,
know?
well, you don't have children yet. Even if
It's-
you had kids, which
yes,
is
goodbye.
now. Tell me about what happened with you. Why you're so strict in your.
Why I say goodbye?
Position.
Because I am somebody that believes when you're in a relationship, it's a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody just
Breaks the
it's
trust.
just it's a huge.
Do you have anybody in your family that ever
Oh yeah,
broke up because of a cheating experience?
yes.
Tell me about that.
Which one? Which?
Oh,
Which
shit.
one? She said,
My-
oh shit.
Right.
And am I doing the journalistic allegedly thing? Or I
Whatever you're
have
comfortable
family
with.
that have stayed together. I have family that have my parents are divorced allegedly because of cheating.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's like, how heartbreaking is that when you find out that the person that you love and respect and trust, this is your best friend in the entire
but they're
world.
your parents. Wouldn't you be happy if your parents were together?
No, because they hated each other.
Oh. So
After
it wasn't
that.
the cheating. Oh, it was after that they hated each other.
Oh
But
yeah,
maybe
if
they
you're
hated
like
each
I'm
other,
in
that's
love
why
with
they cheated.
someone else, like what are you gonna stay for? That's the most disrespectful. It's just letting them walk all over you. That's not. No, it's just completely unacceptable. Yeah.
Really? John?
Well,
Malkin?
What?
What?
I mean the biggest bond between anything is trust, right? I mean, it could be a marriage, it could be a friendship, it could be a
Business.
job, a business, and all that. If you break that bond of trust, that is that's a killer. And if you can't live with someone or be in a relationship in any capacity where you can't trust that person, it's really hard to wake up every day and know what's going on during the day. Like, is this person really telling me the truth and all that? And it just creates a whole dynamic. And it'd be hard to live like that again. And, and I guess not to play, if I'll talk about if someone's cheating on somebody, you can play victim, but then it's like, well, do I want to be with a person who doesn't respect me or loses this trust? I'm sure I can find someone else out there that.
But what if the cheating comes from a place that it's the own cheater's deficit, right? It's their own struggle that they're going through, and you happen to be on the receiving end of their own personal struggle, one. And two, you've been married for more than 28 years. And I'm not putting the Kanahara on your relationship at all. But let's just say your wife cheated on you. Mm. Are you really going to take 28 years and say goodbye?
Oh, man, it would be I'd need one hell of a reason to stick around. That's for sure. I mean, so, all right, I see where you were going with that.
Yes.
Now, I guess you always have to put things in context. So let's just say, you could use me, my wife, or just two people in general.
Yeah.
Let's just say for 2 years or a year, it's just been a horrific marriage.
Yes.
You're fighting all the time. You're sleeping in separate rooms. You just can't stand being around each other. Not to say that it's okay, but then obviously it's like, well, you're almost close to ending anyways. But if you feel listen, no marriage is perfect every single day for all that, but you're in a fairly good state of bliss and things seem to be doing fine. And then you get hit with that left hook, because I know you're going to do a lot of that in the ring, man. And you don't understand where it came from. I guess there's got to be a lot of splaining that has to happen.
It's got a
splaining to do because, all of a sudden you can't just go like, well, yeah, but here's what, at that point, then that might be tough to get back. So I'll put a little bit of context.
Yeah, and they say no happy marriages end in divorce anyway. So you got to look at some stuff like that too.
I know that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So trust. It sounds like y'all are saying once trust is broken, it's extremely hard to get it back.
Yeah, and I think really something interesting you mentioned earlier, you were asking about kids. I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, well, we have to stay together for the children until the children move out. Your children know.
Oh, yeah.
Your children know there is something wrong. There is no way your kids don't feel a different vibe in the house. Yeah. Like there's something wrong.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that they want mommy and daddy to be apart.
But also once they see how happy they are not being together in something that's forced.
Yeah, it's true. There is no one right answer.
And every child knows someone these days who's from a divorced family.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what were you going to say, Justin?
So I have a twin, right? There's two faces.
Mm-hmm. You're two-faced.
Right. Better looking one, though. Me.
Yeah, of course.
So he has an ex-wife, and they have a kid. And the kid always, oh, you and daddy are going to be back together.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't hide reality from kids or anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You always got to be truthful. No, it's not working out right now, etc. Stuff like that. So I just thought I could put that in there and give that an example. Like sometimes you just got to be truthful in reality to kids, especially your kids, because if you're not, then you're just going to tell them lies and they're going to see you. Oh, yeah, you're just lying to me. You've been lying to me since day one.
Yeah. And obviously all relationships are different and all people are different. So it's not like each relationship is so cut and dry,
right.
So in the story, there's this whole part where the protagonist says, well, if you really wanted to, you'd do this. And if you really wanted to, you'd do that. And if you really wanted to, her lover would have left his wife to be with her, according to the couple that she's having dinner with. Mm-hmm. Who agrees with that? That we really end up doing in relationships the things that we really want to?
I mean, they really wanted to have an affair. And they made that happen, didn't they?
Yep.
They drove the 100 miles. I was like, 100 miles? Who are you driving 100 miles for?
That's dedication.
Like, that's got to be incredible. Yeah. 100 miles. That's crazy. It's not like your next door neighbor. They're out for lunch.
I wish someone drove 100 miles for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you think that, Justin, that people do what they really want to? Or sometimes you may want to be with someone. You may want to be good and faithful and trustworthy in your marriage. You really want to, but your own...
You got desires.
You've got desires.
But it's also your free will of choice. I could do whatever I want. I'm in a relationship, but I'm going to be in a relationship. Doesn't matter what desire I want. Oh, I see some hot guy across. Oh, I'm like, no, I can't. Why? I'm in a relationship. You know, not my other partners, but
right. So it's interesting what you were just saying, Amy. This idea about the lover and her protagonist being too far apart. You know, the 100 miles was just too far. Is it too difficult to maintain long distance relationships, and that could lead to an affair? Are there reasons why people have affairs, and could that be one of them?
long distance. I had my first relationship, long distance.
Yeah.
Cheated on me.
Oh my God. I know, but you have these 7. It's awful.
So it's still the same concept, you know? People will always have desires and what's the other word? You said it. It was an A. A word.
What did I say?
I totally
Tom
forgot.
playback.
People do have desires and they will always cheat on you no matter what.
Do you think that the woman was satiated
In this
by...
generation.
Oh, I'm sorry to cut
Sorry,
you off.
no, you're good.
Do you think that this woman was satiated by her one affair, or do you think that after this fizzled out or didn't fizzle out that she went on to other lovers?
Oh, that's a good question.
Right? It's
I
like
mean,
it depends on what she was trying to fix with this.
It was
you
like
know?
a gap she's trying to fill in.
Well, it's weird because it's not. It doesn't seem like they were trying to fix a problem in their marriage. It seems like the description was again, these are people I think in their 50s. They've identified their marriage as ho hum. Oh, you know, they brush their teeth, they do this, you know.
Well,
and
for her. But for Tom, he
For
just
Tom.
didn't even... Tom was the guy that didn't like going home seeing his wife.
Yeah,
he
well-
would drive around.
he's got major issues.
Yeah.
Right. But the woman and maybe that other guy or her lover just feel like they're just kind of in a ho-hum life and all that, and they're just looking for this escape patch periodically every now and then. But
Yeah. Now, you know what? That really did strike me. Remember, this is based on true life events. The Tom character, that he would drive around after work
that's a little weird.
and didn't want to go home and
Yeah.
then would go to therapy and lie.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
that was his fantasy, driving around. Escape from
Hey, now.
little.
Car
It's like the thing
fetish?
about the girl with the trains, remember?
What?
Tom
There's a
Cruise?
there's a train fetish?
Yeah.
What?
What? Wait, what?
Remember Tom Cruise?
What?
Which movie was that? Was that it wasn't Risky Business? was it?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
How do you fetishize a train?
People have things.
Big. Pause.
Choo-choo.
That's a whole other
Choo
podcast.
choo! Here comes the airplane.
Looking for that caboose.
Telling you that metal, you know, that metal on that train. I'll tell you that.
It's the motion, probably.
Oh my! So it bothered me that he would go to the therapy sessions and lie.
I mean, he did.
Therapy is so helpful. It's
I know.
so
Yeah.
good.
But
He
It
was
is.
trying to not hurt her feelings. That was his justification of it.
The truth will.
He's like, she's too good for a bad situation, so I'm just going to lie and pretend like a bad situation isn't
See, that's a
happening.
guy you're going to read about one day in a headline and go, "Yep, that makes sense."
Yeah.
I mean, he's just waiting to do something really stupid.
and when you lie, you have to back up your lie.
Yeah.
You know, when you lie, you go, wait, what did I say? If you speak the truth, you don't have
Yeah,
to
you
worry
never,
Did you
about
ever
nothing.
go to
you never have to
therapy?
remember your
Yes.
lies.
You've been to therapy,
Been
Justin?
there multiple times.
Did you ever lie in therapy?
No, they're here to
Never.
help.
I told my lady to write a book.
What lady?
My therapist. I
Why?
went once.
Oh,
She's like, tell me about your life. I did, and I got up and I was like, you should write a book. And I left. I was like, thank you.
you know, I happen to know just from doing this job the number of, sorry to say, but particularly men that lie in therapy. They are the biggest cheater in town.
Really?
It's more common than you can possibly believe it.
Wow.
But I also think they're getting away with it, and it's a certain power kind of play, too.
Yes, that the affair isn't just about the sex and the romance. It's about the power.
It's about getting away with the lie.
Till they get caught.
Until they get caught. And then they're like, I don't know what you're
I'm
talking about.
sorry.
It's like Shaggy. It wasn't me. I don't know.
Right? Okay.
Remember, I love that song. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Is there anything, Amy, I'd like to hear a little bit more about your own personal experience in this
Oh, dear.
book that we should be writing.
Which part? Which thing?
Tell
there
me
were a lot of exes with a lot of
Tell
either
me-
mental issues or addiction problems or this or that or.
That led to cheating?
You're like, that would be wonderful. It led to lying. A lot of lying.
But never led to cheating. That's a yes.
Well, this is a podcast for another day.
Is it too painful
schedule
for you to
that.
talk about? Is it still raw?
I feel as though it will contradict everything I just said in this podcast.
How?
So this is a separate.
Because you stayed. You did.
It's the. It wasn't them.
No.
Oh. So once you cheated, Amy,
Hey now.
tell us. Well,
Oh, shit.
she's not a perfect person.
10 years recover.
Is that why you have such strong feelings about cheating? Because you have
It's
guilt?
part of one of the reasons, probably. Because it really is. It's like the ultimate lie and the ultimate like act of betrayal.
Was
to
it going
someone
on
who's
and
your
on and
best
on,
friend.
and then he discovered it? Or how did it come to light?
My exes never found out until they listened to this podcast.
Oh, this is great. Wow.
So it didn't end because of your cheating. It just ended in his mind for...
Because I thought this other person was the one for me.
So you left after cheating for the guy you were cheating with?
Yes, it was. Well, it was like an emotional affair, really.
Yeah. What do you mean by that? You never slept together?
Yeah, until after I had left my ex.
How long had you been with your ex?
Year and a half, probably.
Okay.
That one.
And then when you say emotional, was it texting or...
Yeah, everything. We went to college together. We were best friends. We used to write music together. We, like the whole kit and caboodle.
Right.
Like I thought this person was my soulmate.
Even though you were going home to bed with your boyfriend?
Yes.
Wow.
And then this was at a point in life, though, if we're all talking about, people's circumstances, like I said, it still never excuses anything. My parents were going through a wicked divorce. My dad found out my mom allegedly cheated on him.
Right.
Like it was this huge, like, what is love? What is family? What
Right.
is, like, I'm in college. You're just trying to figure everything out. And it's
Right.
like, yeah.
Why don't you think you ever told your ex?
Because I didn't want to hurt them, just like Tom in the story. You're like, if I can convince them that I didn't do something awful, they won't think there's something wrong with them.
So you'd rather be, sorry, a liar than a cheater. I said it.
At the time, yes, absolutely. Would I do that today? No, absolutely. I still I've done so much like meditation, apologizing, like everything, just like trying to apologize. Like,
Did you ever tell anybody?
oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I've confessed my sins.
I mean, we all have sins.
Answer Amy, Justin. You having been on the other side of behavior that Amy had. Talk to her.
How?
How
do you go home, right? And just like, oh yeah, everything's normal with your boyfriend. Right after cheating.
That's a great question. I thought the boyfriend that I was with at the time like didn't love me enough. I thought it was one of those because I didn't sit down and have a conversation with him. Oh, why don't you want to go out with me at night? Why would you rather work? Why would you rather do this? Why would you rather do that? And I was at a phase in my life where I wasn't comfortable having conversations with people. When at that point you shouldn't be in a
So
relationship.
you were trying
like,
to
if you
fill a
can't
gap
talk
he couldn't
to.
give you?
I thought he didn't love me, and I thought this other guy, we had like this crazy like soul connection, you know, like one of
Right,
those
right,
nonsensical,
right.
you know, we're soulmates, it's meant to be.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. But he never left his girlfriend, wound up marrying her. He broke up with me, married her because he said that she wanted to have children and I didn't. And I was like, well, we never had that conversation. And then they went through years and he literally finally stopped talking to me probably. And I told you this was well over 10 years ago. He finally stopped talking to me about 3 years ago. He kept coming back to try to, I don't know what.
Even though he was married to the woman.
Oh
the new
yeah,
one.
married to her. They
Wow.
had problems having kids. She had some kind
And he
of
wanted
weird
to have an
thing
affair
where
with
they
you,
did it.
or he
just kept reaching out. And
did he want to have an affair with you, do you think?
I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Did he, John? Why was he calling Amy back?
You gotta check out my song lyrics. You gotta hear the song. Is this song okay? I can't play this. I can't do this without you.
I don't know enough about
I
it, but
can't do
I'm
this
sensitive.
without
Okay.
you.
That's beautiful.
It's like the ultimate manipulation. It's like, please just let me go.
I think, you know what I
Yeah,
think would have happened?
yeah.
I think if Amy said, okay, come on back, he would have left his wife and come to you.
Are you being a wise guy? You
No.
mean that? Why do you think that?
Well,
Because John knows I'm cool.
I love Amy. She's so goddamn cool. And, and
I'd be with Amy,
she's
but-
engaged and going to have a wonderful wedding, which I'm
That's
going
right.
to crash.
Hell yeah. No, I already told my future husband that you're crashing our wedding,
totally
just so you know.
Okay, guys, we're not doing party planning here. Why do you think that? Were you being serious? Because you're
I'm
such
dead
a jokester.
serious.
That if Amy had said, quote unquote, yes, that he would have come back to her.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't know. Again, I know zero about it, but I'm just sensing that, what Amy, a couple of things that she just said, that I think maybe he regretted what he did, that they've aged a little bit, they're more mature, and I think he's starting to realize, oh my God, she is really kind of the woman that I really wanted. We never had that conversation about kids, and my God, what did I do? And
You want to hear the best?
I think he has a little bit of regret.
Amy's on a
You
roll.
want to
now.
hear the best
Spilling it all.
scandalous
Go
part
ahead.
of the end of this story,
Yes.
I suppose,
Yes.
is that he did wind up cheating on his wife with another woman and got her pregnant.
Oh my God.
And he's now living with her in
With
the
kids.
city. He finally left his wife.
Wow. So he
Who
was
was
so
supposedly
he was
his best
unhappy
friend
with his
of-
wife. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He would have bolted.
Oh,
And
wow.
he apologized to me many times, many different ways, many long, droning emails.
Justin, how do
but-
you feel hearing this story?
If they
Again,
could see my reaction right now.
what is it? Tell us. I can see you.
Oh my God. But so he got what he wanted at the end. He wanted kids.
Yep.
He couldn't have kids with his, not
Wife.
you, but with the other one. Oh my God.
How does that make you feel hearing this? Does it? Because I can imagine after being cheated on 7 times that you internalize a lot of feelings, like you haven't
I'm
let
still
go
searching.
of.
I'm still searching for the person I want.
You're
feeling-
25, man. You got lots
You
of
got
time.
lots of time.
That's
I'm like
what they
38.
say,
It's
but this
cool.
generation don't
I don't know,
like
man.
Chris Brown used to say, these hoes ain't loyal.
Really?
Yeah, Chris Brown song.
Yeah, no. I know the song. I'm cool. I know the song.
Well, stop dating hoes.
Is it? Ooh.
It's you know what, Amy?
You can't even see me. I'm trying to laugh and look at you. I'm sorry.
Is it different in your age group, Justin?
Yes, very different.
How is it different?
Everyone has a
these love
preference.
relationships. Oh, you know what's interesting, Justin? Earlier you said to me that 8 months was a long time to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. Young people's relationships are much, much shorter in duration.
Yeah, because they think they found the one. Oh, we have so much connections. Oh, they know everything. They got social media. I mean, they connect through that.
So they have the impression that they really know the person.
Exactly,
because
before they even meeting them.
Really?
Yeah.
And then what happens after like 2 months? They're wanting to lock it down.
Oh, they
and
want to
move in?
they want to engage, house, apartment, dog game, Kiko, yeah,
Okay,
all that.
Really?
That's madness.
It is. Yeah, yeah.
I have my rule about you have to see someone at least for the 4 seasons before you can.
Why?
Me?
What are the
Get
4
in the
seasons
hotel?
for you?
Well, what if someone's all of a sudden at the 4 Seasons Hotel, John?
You got to meet someone at the Four Seasons.
But you know what I mean? You have to see how they are in summer,
Literally,
winter,
like,
fall, spring. You know what I mean?
that's
Because like, what
exactly-
if all of a sudden, like, Christmas, like, triggers something crazy in their brains?
Oh, What if
and
you
all of a
live,
sudden they're a psychopath, but you met in January, but you got engaged in October.
What if you
like,
live in
and you
Florida
didn't even
and
know?
it's just one season? Does that
It's
mess
one
things
season
up?
the whole time.
It's just
Whole
one
time.
season.
Whole time. That's fair. That's fair.
What if you live in Antarctica and there's never...
Right.
Just snow.
Oh, my gosh, you guys. Well, this was a great discussion. Does anyone have anything that they would like to add or that we didn't cover?
We should do a podcast on Amy's backstory.
right.
And then one with Jillian. I mean, we could think how many episodes we could get just in this group.
Like
Exactly.
Justin and his 7...
Oh.
Oh, Justin.
No, I'm good.
Justin,
I've learned.
you know
and
what,
grown.
dude? I just met you. You're such a nice guy. You will find the right guy.
Absolutely.
Just
No, I
be
actually
patient.
don't
And
want
you know
nobody.
what? Screw those guys. Because when you find the right guy and all that, you're going to have a wonderful, wonderful life. So hang in there,
Absolutely.
brother.
Well,
Took me
right
to
now I'm just
38.
focused on YouTube, boxing, and
Yeah, tell us a little bit about your boxing before we go.
oh, so the fight's next month. I'm fighting my best friend.
Wait, now explain to me the connection between YouTubing, vlogging, and fighting.
Boxing, everybody just likes to see their favorite YouTuber box.
Why?
Don't know. People love it.
What
I'm
about
gonna be honest.
podcasters?
It's
Should
good
John and I
TV.
be boxing?
Hey, listen, if you and John box, I'll pay to see that.
All right.
Really?
I will
There's
pay to
There's
see
pictures
that.
on the internet of Jillian
Shirtless
in boxing
boxing.
gloves.
Shirtless
so
boxing.
You don't want
She
to,
will beat the shit out of me.
She
So.
probably. I love you, John, but she probably would.
No, I admit that.
Jillian is
Yes.
a underdog. Okay,
Oh, no,
she's
she's-
dangerous.
Pitbull.
Well, there are pictures of me on the internet with boxing gloves.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes.
Because I train in a
Go
boxing
off.
gym.
Oh,
I do.
all right.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
see?
go off.
Journeyman
know.
boxing. Yes, I train there. Mm-hmm. So
Shut up.
you don't believe me?
No,
I'll
I do.
kick your ass.
Damn, I'm gonna be fucked up before my fight. My opponent's like, "What happened to you?" I got my ass kicked
By this
a podcaster.
by this
podcaster.
podcaster. We should sign her up now.
I know. Time to sign off. It
I'll
was
tell
a
you what,
great
man.
discussion.
You want some great pay-per-view? You box each of those 7 assholes that cheated
Oh,
on you.
Yes.
You line them all up and have a separate fight each time. It'd be fantastic.
I mean, I already hit the best friend.
I know.
Yeah.
He couldn't take a hit.
Knockout. This interview was a knockout. Thank you all for being here. It was a great discussion. Amy, we have a therapist waiting for you on the way out the door.
My DMs are open.
Exactly. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for listening to Cheating When Love Lies. Please remember to subscribe, follow, and share. See you next time.